because we don't know how to communicate with it. We don't know how to use it. The problem is that we are used to using Google, and we're used to communicating with technology like we communicate with Google. With Google, it's like less is better. AI is the polar opposite of that.
Have you heard about the Jewelry Marketing Collective? It's our sales-focused membership community that's designed to help you unlock more sales, increase your website traffic, grow your email list, and build an engaged social media following. The way the membership works is that each month we release a sales challenge and break down the exact steps you need to make more sales. Our next challenge is happening soon, and it's our holiday sales promotion and content creation challenge, followed by our Black Friday sales push. So if you'd like to join us for the Jewelry Marketing Collective and have a step-by-step strategy on how you can sell more this holiday season, head on over to flourishthriveacademy.com/JMC for more details. Here's something super cool. We all know about ChatGPT, and we know about a lot of these AI tools that have helped us speed up our content creation and help us figure out different aspects of our business. But did you know that you can literally train these different AI tools, not just ChatGPT, but some really incredible tools to not only research publicity opportunities for you, but help you pitch to holiday gift guides, and then on the side, also be your therapist? I'm joking, but not really. My friend Callan Faulkner is on the show today, and she's going to be talking a little bit more about her AI expertise and how she pivoted a year or so ago, to learn and go all in on a variety of different AI tools that help entrepreneurs and solopreneurs grow and speed up their businesses in no time flat. And I love this conversation today. We're going to dive in just a moment, but before I do, let me introduce myself. Hey there, I'm Tracy Matthews. I'm the Chief Visionary Officer of Flourish and Thrive, and I help jewelry business owners launch, grow, and scale successful and thriving jewelry businesses using my methodology called the Desired Brand Effect. And today is going to blow your mind, because one of the things that I have always tried to help jewelry businesses do is to speed up what they're doing so they feel less overwhelmed and they're able to get more done in way less time. So today, you're going to love this episode if you can do it. And also at the end, I'm going to share with you how you can join us, or you can see in the show notes, actually, how you can join us for Callan's free masterclass all about these AI tools and potentially join us for her program. So let's dive into this episode today and figure out how to use AI in a multitude of ways. I'm so excited to be here with my friend Callan Faulkner. We are going to crush it today talking about AI and how to use it for your jewelry business, or any business that you have. I'm so excited to have you here, Callan. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, Tracy. I'm pumped.
Okay, so we're new friends. We just met at the Powerhouse Women event, and you're good friends with my friend Renee.
Yeah.
And I was so excited to be able to mastermind with you. You literally completely, well, we did some things that we're not going to talk about on camera, but you completely blew my mind about AI. Because obviously I've been using AI in my business for a while, but you were sharing all these brand new tools, because I don't take the time to learn about this stuff. And they are rocking my world. And so I wanted to have you on the show today to talk a little bit more about how we can speed up our lives and pretty much everything that we do using some of these AI tools that we're not even hearing about. So before we dive into that, girl, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Amazing. Well, thank you for having me. So good to spend time with you. And any person Renee has introduced me to, I'm like, Renee, just give me your Rolodex, because amazing people. So my background, I graduated from college, and immediately I graduated with an entrepreneurship degree. So I knew I wanted to be working in business. I went to work for a technology consulting firm. I was in sales. I have a sales background. I grew in that role. We were doing CRM implementations. I'm sure there's, HubSpot, Salesforce. Yeah. So I was doing that for big Fortune 5,000 companies. Do you guys talk about Enneagram? Are you guys an Enneagram?
Yeah, I mean, I love Enneagram. I'm a 7.
Okay, cool. 7. I'm a 3. So
of course
3,
you are.
Yeah,
this makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it's not.
I can't be bothered with continuing to optimize things. You're
that's exactly, yes. 3s, if those that don't know Enneagram, it's 1 through 9 personality test. Kind of talks about how you see the world. I see the world as, number one, I am obsessed with efficiency. So if I can change the way my garbage can is oriented in the garage to make it easier for me to get the garbage into the garage, into the can, I will do that. I will reorient to make it less steps. So that was happening in my consulting job. So I started kind of getting into more of an architect. That kind of led me to work my way up in this consulting firm. I knew I wanted to work for myself. I didn't know what that looked like. Long story short, I got into land investing. So random. I
didn't even really know what that was, but
yeah, it's buying and selling land, doing some land development, crazy. But I got into that space, and it's a lot of folks in there that don't automate. They're doing a lot of old school tactics, sending mail to people. I'm like, we should be doing modern things, guys. Like, we need to be thinking outside the box. So that kind of started I have a company called REI Optimize, so helping real estate investors scale. About a year ago, about a year and a half ago now, I saw my first webinar on AI, and talk about crack for a Enneagram 3 for efficiency. Literally a drug. I was like, what is this? And I saw a webinar, and it was talking about how this guy was creating an SOP, documenting a standard operating procedure, which I hate. That is like the bane of my existence. Literally terrible. And what he did is he recorded a Loom video. You guys talk about Loom? You familiar with Loom? So he recorded a Loom video. He grabbed the transcript, put it in ChatGPT, and told it to be a world-class SOP document writer. Please extract the SOP out of this, bullet point, step by step. He snapped his fingers and it was done. I was like, this is next level. This is next level. How do I take my creative visionary brain mixed with this technology? I don't even know what's possible here, and start to teach people. And here we are.
I love it. Okay. So you made this like crazy shift. You watch this AI thing, you decide you're doing all this land investor stuff. And then you're just like, well, let me start teaching AI to land investors. And now you're teaching AI to all sorts of entrepreneurs. So excited about your program that's coming up in October, because we're taking it.
Yeah, you
we'll
are.
talk about that later. But okay, so where do we start? Because I think a lot of us know about ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And I have a love-hate relationship with ChatGPT. I love it for certain things, love it for research. I love it for helping me organize. Sometimes I use it for to help me outline a podcast episode if I'm feeling lazy, and then I cut about half of what it says out. But just gives me some ideas. We use it for optimizing Instagram bios over here. But when we met, you were like, okay, look at this tool. Look at this tool. Look at this tool. Look at this tool. And I was like, oh my God.
Whoa.
Okay. So where do we start?
Here's where we start. You have a love-hate relationship, not saying you, everyone listening to this most likely, because we don't know how to communicate with it. We don't know how to use it. The problem is that we are used to using Google, and we're used to communicating with technology like we communicate with Google. So when you're searching, let's say, Tracy, you have your birthday dinner coming up and you're planning a little gathering for you and a couple friends. If you're searching for a steak restaurant, what would you search on Google?
Best steak restaurant in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Exactly. So you give it.
But now I know best steak restaurant that does not use seed oils in Scottsdale.
Yeah, there you go. Now we're getting there. So the problem is with Google, it's like less is better. Like give it maybe 3 words with some commas. AI is the polar opposite of that. AI wants to know exactly what you're doing, who are you, where are you going. If I was searching for the best steak restaurant, I would use a tool called Perplexity. It's like Google on steroids, uses AI. And the first thing I would tell it is who it is. So whenever you're talking to AI, you're talking to somebody. So I would say you're a Scottsdale, I don't know, travel agent expert, and you're a foodie. You're a Scottsdale foodie, world-class foodie. You know all the best restaurants.
I give Michelin stars to restaurants.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So then the next step is you have to give it context and information. It wants to know everything. We'll talk about how you can go a little overload with that. But hey, I'm planning a birthday dinner for me and 3 girls. There's going to be 4 women total. We want to go to a steak restaurant that also has a lot of great sides that are veggie friendly. One of my friends is a vegetarian. We ideally would not like it to have seed oils. Ideally, it has organic, nice wine. Ideally, it's a little quieter. We actually don't really like a lot of noise, a little bit more quiet.
Like you're not going to STK to go party.
No, we're not going to STK. I want it to be over 4.6 stars on Google, but I also want it to be within 20 minutes of X address. Information. So it's like you're giving it all these points. Then you're telling it what you want. I want you to give me a list of 10 of the best steak restaurants, and I want you to give your perspective on how well it fits what I'm looking for. Most important thing, if you take anything from this podcast, please ask me any clarifying questions.
Yep.
So that you can find me the best steak restaurant. if you give it that, now it knows. Now it's the chances of it bowling a strike. I like to say, like when we put stuff in there, when we prompt it, we call it prompting it. You have a much higher chance of getting what you want because you actually trained it and taught it what you were looking for.
That's so great. And so where are you going?
Probably the spot we went to.
You're coming here. Yeah. I mean, that's where I would go here.
Yes.
For sure.
What was that
So
called?
if anyone wants to try an amazing steak restaurant, it's called The Ends. I had all these, I'm like, let's go here. And Callan's like, we're going to go here because they don't use seed oils. And I was like, all these restaurants use seed oils? And she's like, yes, there's an app for that. I'm sure you could.
Seed Oil Scout. Yep.
Seed Oil Scout.
If you don't know why seed oils are bad, just ask ChatGPT. Please be a world-class nutritionist and tell me why seed oils are one of the most inflammatory things to put in the body.
Can I tell you a funny side story? So right after that, Jason was making, his daughters and him love fried rice, and they make this homemade thing. I don't not like fried rice, really. I mean, I'll eat it if we're at Asian food, but it's not my favorite thing because it just feels heavy. He buys a big freaking thing of Crisco, and I'm like, or not Crisco.
Oh no, canola oil?
Vegetable oil, like whatever random vegetable oil. He's like, I'm not buying canola oil, I'm buying vegetable oil. I'm like, look at what's in that. And we got into like this debate, and he's like, it's not bad. And then I'm like, you realize him and me and his daughters were all talking about seed oils and how bad they are for you. And I'm like, yeah. So then he's like really big on like going down rabbit holes when he like gets challenged. He goes on this whole rabbit hole of seed oils and threw them all out. Threw out anything bad, bought beef tallow for us to cook.
Yes. Yay. That's awesome. Look at that. Wait, I love it.
I only use like olive oil for almost everything anyway, but like
totally.
Yeah.
That's
Those
awesome.
beef fries were great. If anyone lives in Scottsdale, definitely go to The Ends.
I would go back to that restaurant at any minute.
We
that
went
was so fun.
The following week, and I'm like, anytime my friend Spencer comes to town, I'm like, we got to go and get the tomahawk.
I love it.
I know you'll be able to eat it.
Amazing. So good.
Okay, back to AI.
Yes.
Okay, so you talked about Perplexity.
Yeah.
The thing that really blew my mind, though, is Claude. So Claude is an AI tool that is not connected to the internet. And I'm kind of thinking in my brain, like, what is really the difference between something like ChatGPT and Claude?
Yeah.
So why don't we talk about that? Because Claude is like changing my life right now.
I know. So Claude, ChatGPT, Perplexity, you're going to hear Gemini, that's Google's version of ChatGPT. They're all large language models. They're called LLMs. So these tools are designed to work with text usually and make decisions and create text like a human would. That's what LLMs do. So there are a lot of different brands of LLM, just like there's a lot of different search engines. Google was the first one to market. ChatGPT was kind of the first one. So that's why everyone is just like, oh, ChatGPT. Well, there's this whole other world of all these other LLMs. And if you go search online right now, what is today? September 10th. I always have to say what day it is because this changes. It's a rat race right now between the LLMs. Claude is technically the best LLM in the world, but people are starting to find out about it. So this is one of the important parts of what I'm doing is trying to make sure we're on the cutting edge of, okay, which things, ChatGPT is good for some things, but honestly, I barely use ChatGPT. Like I use it on my phone because it's got some really great functions there.
Yeah.
So Claude is like ChatGPT, couple differences. So number one, the content creation in Claude is, I would say, close to 5 to 10 times better than ChatGPT. And you've been creating some content in Claude recently.
Yes.
Way better. Warmer. When you're creating content with ChatGPT, actually, if you go in there right now and you're like, write me a blog, it's like immediately I know that it's ChatGPT. That tone is just so overdone.
Yeah, all of it.
Yeah. So that's my one PSA. We'll talk about content and voice and tone in a little bit because people are abusing it, in my opinion. They're abusing AI and they're thinking, we know that content's not good. Claude is better. You still have to work it, but she's better. I don't know if it's she or he. It is better.
Claude seems like a male name to me, but I don't know.
It does. We'll go with a he. It's a he.
And instead of Maud would be.
Yeah, exactly. True. The other thing I note is that ChatGPT can actively use the internet. Claude has the internet loaded in until January of 2024. So if you're asking something about kind of a real-time event, Claude doesn't have access to that. ChatGPT does, but Perplexity is every single time you search something in Perplexity, it gives you the source of where it came from. So I always tell people, if you're going to do research on, for my real estate investors, they research a market, or I want to research like my competitors and what they're doing online. You're going to go to Perplexity because that's real time research.
So Perplexity is the best place to go if you wanted to do market research. Like, let's say you wanted to market research different jewelry business owners who maybe would be your competitors.
100%.
You could go and do that.
Yep.
Or I could find my competitors maybe online or something along those lines.
Yep. And then if you were writing a report up and you wanted to make it, more warm in your tone, it's like take the research from Perplexity and bring it into Claude.
Okay.
So I'm often kind of bouncing, like, and ChatGPT is the best at formatting. So if you're trying to, we talked about this, I think, like getting the headers with the bullet points and the bold and making it really pretty, ChatGPT excels at that. So it's kind of like getting used to these different things. And if you're already completely overwhelmed, I would say just log into Claude and just start using it like ChatGPT. Perplexity is used whenever you were going to use Google, you now use Perplexity, in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah. So I forgot about Perplexity. You told me about it. And then Jason was talking about it the other night because we have a friend that we were over at their house, and he's like, yeah, it's like plan me a meal, and then it will plan you like your meal plan for like the entire week and give you a shopping list. Like,
yeah, you could do that in Claude. You could do that in ChatGPT. I would say I would use Perplexity if you were like, hey, I'm really trying to dial in my nutrition. Can you research Andrew Huberman's latest podcast and tell me, who is the latest nutritionist he had on? Give me a summary of that podcast, and then take it over to Claude to build your meal plan out based on that.
Let's talk about how you can use Perplexity to research like publicity opportunities.
Sure.
So you were just showing me something that you were doing, like to research my podcast before we got on, so that you understood the audience and stuff like that. Like, let's say there's a jewelry designer here and she wanted to research the top editorial bloggers who write about jewelry for gift guides or something like that.
Great. So number one, 4-part prompting. Number one, what's the role of Perplexity? So in this particular situation, I'd say you're a world-class PR manager. And if you don't even know what the role needs to be, you can just tell it. I like to tell, everyone's like, what should I say? I'm like, ask AI. Tell Perplexity your entire situation. So start by giving it the context. This is who I am. This is what I want. I'm looking for PR. I'm looking for editorial managers for XYZ reason. This is where I'm located. This is who I am. Please recommend the top 10 options, and please ask me any clarifying questions that you need to make the best recommendations you possibly can. And it'll do its thing.
Awesome. And so then it will come back with some research. You can go back and take a look. And then can it write a pitch for you?
Oh my gosh, Tracy. So I wish we could like show everyone's screen, but I'm gonna try to explain this. So I have in Claude, there's something called we're gonna go next level here, but just bear with me. I'm so sorry if you're listening and you're like, I'm already confused. Just stay with me. So when you go into Claude, and if you just told Claude, like, write me a pitch to pitch me to, give me an example. Who would I pitch myself to?
Let's say this is kind of like aspirational, but like Oprah's favorite things for holiday.
Hell yeah. Okay, so let's say we're pitching to Oprah's favorite things, and so we want to do a pot. If you just went into Claude right now and you said, okay, I own XYZ jewelry company and I want to pitch me to Oprah's favorite things, it would have no idea. It would have no idea about who you are, why you're great, what's your vision, your mission, your brand, your tone, your voice, your why, any of that. It has no clue. So that's why we build something called a Claude project. So a Claude project is only available if you have the paid version of Claude. So you go over, if you log into Claude, it'll be on your left-hand side and you'll just click projects. In a project, you can upload on the backside information to train Claude. So for example, you would upload, and you just go to, attach, and you can upload your company overview. I would upload all the content on your website. If you have a great website with your mission, your vision, your brand, I would upload the transcript of you going on a podcast talking about your brand. I would ask Claude, hey, if you were going to pitch me on Oprah's favorite things, what are the 10 questions that you would want me to answer? so that you built out the best pitch. Then I would record yourself using audio pen, which we haven't talked about, answering all those questions, and I would put that transcript in the back
That's
end.
the fastest way to do it. I forgot about the audio pen thing. I mean, I have an audio pen subscription now.
Yes.
But the talking in audio pen makes it so much easier than actually having to write the answers, because it's all about going fast, and you could talk
100%.
so much faster.
Well, I should say, because I've learned this from a lot of people, most people are not as verbal as you and me. we are different. So if you like typing, please go ahead.
I really like to talk. I do not
love talking. I that's actually one of my biggest things right now is my team members like to work on their own, and I'm like, no, I want to work. I want to work with people
too. That's like, I'm like, can we just talk it out?
Let's just talk. And they're like, go work. I'm like, no, I want to talk. So that's actually how I use Claude. Like, I use it as my working partner. I'm sure you feel the same, where you're like, that's why it works so good, because we're like, what would you think? And what do you think about that? How would you improve it? Is that the best you got? What are 5 questions you'd ask me right now to improve this? And we're just,
oh my gosh. Oh, I don't feel lonely anymore. Just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. No, but for people like us that are verbal, visionaries, creatives, like, it is so important to have that sounding board back and forth. And I actually think recently I can't have it be my employees, because they need to go work. They need to go do their thing, and I'm distracting them. So, my Claude project is called podcast pitching, but yours would be like PR pitching. So I have all this information about me, right? Then in there, I have worked with Renee, our friend, and she's a PR expert. So she has her methodology that she trained me on. I loaded in on the backside Renee's PR methodology. So what are the pitch emails she sends? What is her cadence? What's the follow-up cadence? What's the purpose of the email? What kind of emotion should the email elicit? What's the call to action supposed to be? So AI gets so freaking fun when you train it in a particular methodology. Because if you just go into Claude and you're like, write me a pitch email, I have no idea what kind of methodology you're using, what IP are you using, what framework are you using. So train it on the framework, you train it on you, and then go into Perplexity, ask for a full overview of Oprah's favorite things. I would say, give me all the jewelry that's ever been featured on Oprah's favorite things.
Oh, that would be a lot over the past 30 years.
Just say maybe the last 3 years. What are the last 3 years? And give me those brands. Go get information about all those brands. And then say, like, I've noticed that in the email, it should reference, right? Like, we should make some connections. Like, I noticed you guys featured blah, blah, blah brand. We're actually really similar to them in these ways. And this is some of the ways we're a little bit different and exciting, so that it's not just a lame. Yeah.
That's so good.
So cool.
And the most important part about this is that you need to be able to craft your own brand story, understand your voice and tone, have your brand personality, like all the things that we teach in our Laying the Foundation program, super duper important, because if you can't shape that and be clear about what you stand for and all that stuff, 100%. You can't train the Claude to actually do what you do.
100%. That's exactly what we talked about with content.
Yeah. You know, it's so cool. I uploaded my entire book to Claude.
Oh, nice. You have such an advantage.
You had to like keep reducing the PDF size. So I'm not sure how well.
Oh, well, not to introduce another app, but we'll talk about it. You're taking the course. We'll go into how I would do that if you have too much, but because
I didn't know how to condense it. I just kept making the PDF smaller. So there's
another app that you can upload up to 50 books in there, and you can ask it any questions about any book. It's amazing for research, because then
what is the app?
It's called Notebook LM. Okay. And
how do you know all these? You're an AI.
This is my job now, Tracy. This is my only job. Know what works for people. Notebook LM is insane. Like, I have this Notebook LM of all these like spiritual books I've been wanting to read. So Joe Dispenza, Human Design, The Art of Manifestation. And I can just come in here. I can go in there and be like, all right, I'm really struggling with in my Human Design. I have this creativity channel. I'm so creative, but it makes it really difficult to focus on one thing at one time because we're so creative. I'm sure you can relate. Yep. And so I put that in a Notebook LM, and it put me right to this chapter of the book, talking about that channel and then talking about how to work through that channel. And the thing about Notebook LM is it does not search the internet at all. So the only answers that you get are from the sources that you upload in there.
So that book, was it a Human Design book?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
so
know.
many fun things.
So
Okay.
many fun things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we talked about using AI to pitch publicity. We talked about you could use it for anything. You could actually use it to pitch stores. You can use it to pitch a lot of different things.
Yeah, that's like emails, like, right? I mean, if you're sending an email, a message to somebody, I have a Claude project that's called WriteLikeKalen, and it has 50 of the past emails I've sent. And so anytime my EA manages my inbox, when she gets an email, I got an email from this woman a couple weeks ago. She gave me some compliments. She asked me a couple questions. She just put the email in there and it said respond like Callan would. And it has all the information about me. And it just came up with a response to
I
this
love
woman.
it.
It's unbelievable.
It's so great.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is all amazing. And then on top of that, you can also be using this to create SOPs in your business, which I think is something that most people aren't spending time doing. And it's huge, stressful, and all the things, because we don't want to sit down and document our day. But here's the thing. You can create videos, upload it to Claude, have it create your whole company playbook.
Yeah.
And have it be done in like a day. I mean, that might be a little bit of an over exaggeration, depending on how complicated.
You got to know what to train on. I mean, that's you got to know what the step-by-step process is, but you know that.
So you want to teach us all of this stuff. How do we learn from you how to do all of these things, but like really do it?
You have to get into my course. So that is the best way, because this is not an overnight thing. Like, just like, I'm the one that's coming into your office, you're using your little typewriter, and I'm like, ladies, email is here. And you're like, I'm good. I love this typewriter, actually. My grandmother had it, and I've had it for a long time, and I don't want to get rid of it. And I'm like, I know you don't want to get rid of it, but I promise you it will be okay. And we can look at it in the corner, and let's go over here. Like, and it's not an overnight process. You have to, this is literally, you are a coach beyond business. We are creating new neural pathways by doing this. Even some of the things where I was telling you, like, you ask it questions and you respond to the questions, you're like, oh, your brain is going to change, and that takes time. So my course is 8 weeks. I'm doing a masterclass on Tuesday, October 1st at 4:00 p.m. Central. And I will be doing a lot. I give a lot away on my master classes. So you'll see me do some prompting. You'll see me use a couple of these different tools. So if you're like, I have no idea what this chick's talking about, but it sounds cool, come to that. Worst case scenario, you walk away with some visuals around what we're talking about. And then this is really like, if you are in the place of, you have a couple team members or a team member, it's hard for me because it's like, sometimes you don't even know what you don't know.
Yep.
I mean, down to the fact that I'm using this every morning as a therapist, of working through anxieties, talking to it.
You use it as a therapist?
Dude, it's unbelievable. And on my phone, let's see if I can actually play this out loud. On my phone, so this is where ChatGPT does shine. I'm going to show you because you're on video. See that little headphones thing?
No, I've used it. Yeah.
Okay, so you can just come in here.
I have it.
You are a world-class therapist, and I'm really struggling because I have so many things on my mind. Please ask me one question that will help extract some of my anxieties and frustrations so that I can start working through them.
It already picked up. It says, plan a mental health day.
Oh my God.
What is the one thought or situation that keeps coming back to you today? The one that feels most overwhelming or persistent in your mind?
Well, I just have so much going on right now. I'm an entrepreneur. I run multiple businesses, and sometimes I feel like I'm just so creative, but I just have a really hard time focusing and sitting down and doing one thing. It almost feels impossible.
It sounds like your creativity is abundant, but focusing on one thing feels like a struggle. When you sit down to work, what is the main feeling or thought that pulls you away from focusing?
Just anxiety about how much I have to do.
It seems like there's a pressure tied to what society expects or how much you've achieved, and that might be pulling your focus away. Do you feel like you're measuring your success or productivity by external standards?
Hell yes, I am, ChatGPT.
Oh my gosh, you're like just talking to it and having it coach you.
Dude, today I was getting feedback on we're coming out with a kind of like a holistic business coaching community where AI is really a huge part of our coaching program. And I was asking, what's his name? There's a book that I just read called Lost Connections by Johan Hari. And it's all about how we're losing each other, we're losing ourselves. And I was talking, I said, please be Johan Hari and talk me through this offer. I want him to scrutinize it. And I want him to ask me questions about how technology and community and fulfillment are playing together, because that's really our mission is to help people work smarter to live better. Like living better really is the goal. And he was coaching me. I mean, she was coaching me as him at like questions he would ask and kind of being devil's advocate on a couple things. And it's unbelievable. They could probably be you at this point. You have so much content out there. I could probably say like, be Tracy and coach me. Please help. It's crazy.
Wow. I should learn how to do this so I can like basically do an AI coaching with my community.
Yes, you should. We need to build.
And they could apply to the AI bot, like get coached by me with the AI bot.
Absolutely. If they want you on your phone, that's the AI chat bot. So put in all the transcripts of all the training you've ever done, put in your book, put in, I mean, the back end, like the one-to-one training sessions, the good stuff. And they can go in about this and chat with you. Anyways, masterclass on the 1st. The course kicks off on October 23rd. It's 8 weeks. And we did our first one this summer, and it was unbelievable. We had 174 people go through it, and the testimonials are beyond.
You had 174 people in your program. That is awesome.
It was amazing.
All land? Were they all land investors?
I would say about 60% land investors. My best friend Steph coaches chiropractors, so there was a pretty significant group of chiropractors, and then the rest were coaches, consultants like us that are doing. And then for me, it's a lot of my examples are me working with my executive assistant, me running my land investing business or my coaching business, and the beauty of this is as I start to get, like right now I'm looking out at my contractors who are getting a fallen tree. I'm starting to work with them, building the insurance report and like taking notes on each project. Like I'm starting to get these examples of how functionally each industry should be using it. And it's making the course even so much fun because it's like broadening horizons and giving these really cool examples.
That's so awesome. So where can they find that? And you're going to send me a link. We're going to have it in the show notes. We're also going to be sending an email out about it. If you have any questions about this before October 1st, shoot me a DM also on Instagram, because I can just grab it for you and send it. You definitely want to attend this. I will be there, and I'm so excited to be in your course.
Hell yeah. You guys are going to love it. I cannot wait. Yeah. And if you guys want to, on Instagram, my handle is Callan Faulkner. Pretty easy. It's only one other Callan Faulkner in the world. But follow me. I share little AI tips. My reel yesterday was my prompt to use AI as a 24/7 therapist. So
that is such a good tip. I'm going to try it.
We all need it.
You don't need to hire a business coach.
Yep. I think it could be whatever you want.
Hire a new business coach. No, I'm just joking.
I love it.
I have one. So
you
love my coach.
The coach needs a coach. Trust me. Every day I'm like, what am I doing with my life?
Just sometimes if you just want to get something off your mind, though, I feel like
100%.
It's amazing.
I'm not kidding. It's saved my life a couple times.
That's great. You're amazing, Callan. Thank you so much. I'm so glad we're friends.
Likewise, Tracy. So good. Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to the show today. If you haven't checked it out yet, we are about to launch our next holiday sales challenge inside of the Jewelry Marketing Collective. The Jewelry Marketing Collective is our monthly membership over here. It's a sales challenge focused membership that is designed to help you increase your reach, grow your following, and step into your daily revenue generating activities so that you're getting more done in less time and also making more money in the meantime. So if you want to check it out, head on over to flourishthriveacademy.com/JMC and join us in the Jewelry Marketing Collective today.